Hey there! Today we are diving into a vital part of your manufacturing process in Xperdyte, choosing the right costing method. When we finish a production run and put items into stock, we need to decide what value that stock holds. Let's take a look at how Xperdyte helps you manage this. Why does this matter? Well, accurately valuing your stock ensures your financial reports are spot on. Whether you want to track every cent of variance or keep things predictable with preset values, picking the right method keeps your accounting clean and your business insights sharp. The three main costing methods available in Xperdyte demonstrate distinctions in their status life cycles, processing capabilities, and how variances are managed. Let's look at these distinctions in more detail. First, there is standard costing, which is based on your expectations. Second, we have actual costing, which is based on real-world results. And finally, accounting cost, which is driven by your preset values in your accounting system. Pro tip: unless there is a compelling strategic reason, it is recommended to use standard costing as your default method. First up is standard costing. This is the go-to for most manufacturers. It puts items into stock at the cost you expected based on your bill of materials. With standard costing, Xperdyte calculates the unit cost and locks it in the moment you change the works order status to 20 or started. This method is flexible in that it allows partial production entries. Pro tip: don't change the status to 20 until you are just about to start making the product. Changing the status to 20 locks in your standard costs with the latest prices. If you change it too early, long before you actually start production, prices might change later. This can cause variances on the works order. If things don't go to plan, maybe materials were wasted and more had to be issued. That extra cost creates a variance. In standard costing, the item still goes into stock at the standard cost. The extra value is moved to a separate manufacturing variance account when you hit status 50. Let's see how this standard costing method would look on the costing summary of a works order. You will notice the first column shows your expectations, the material and overhead costs. At the bottom of this column is your final unit cost. This is exactly what your production will be valued at, no matter what happens during the run. Method 2. Actual costing. Actual costing is a more rigorous method and does not allow partial production entries. It postpones the final value calculation until all entries are complete, using the precise costs of materials and overheads incurred. Since the final cost depends on the total input cost and total production output, Xperdyte requires confirmation that all costs have been captured before recording the production output. This confirmation is done by activating status 39, costed. Once the actual production output is captured, the system calculates the actual cost per unit. You get one bite at the apple here. One single production entry to finalize the stock. In this method, there is no separate variance account. If you were inefficient, the product itself just becomes more expensive in your inventory. Let's see how this actual costing method would look on the costing summary of a works order. Look at the actual column. This column reflects your actual material and overhead values. In this case, it is the final unit cost at the bottom of the actual column which goes into your inventory. Notice that with actual costing, the variance is essentially zeroed out. Why? Because the actual cost becomes the final cost. There is no separate variance account here. Any inefficiencies are baked directly into the value of the product you just made. Finally, we have accounting cost. This is a bit different. It ignores the BOM and the real-time feedback. Instead, it uses a cost that you have already preset directly in your accounting system. This method is flexible in that it allows partial production entries. Even if your BOM says it should cost a value of 100, if the accounting system is set to 95, Xperdyte puts it into stock at 95. Much like standard costing, any difference between what actually happened and that preset accounting system cost gets sent to your variance account at status 50. Let's see how this accounting costing method would look on the costing summary of a works order. In this method, the system ignores both the standard BOM and the actual usage columns for valuation. Instead, it looks at the unit cost pulled directly from the accounting system. Any difference between your real-world costs and the accounting system cost shows up as a variance at the bottom, which is also moved to your variance account at status 50. Once you've decided which is the best costing method, here is how you can configure it on the BOM. To set the cost type on a bill of materials, navigate to the main tab and find the production unit cost based on setting. Click the drop-down menu next to this setting to select your desired costing method. The cost setting for a works order is automatically inherited from its bill of materials. However, for a specific production run, you have the flexibility to change this default setting. To do this, navigate to the main tab on the works order, use the cost method drop-down menu, and select your preferred costing option. Always remember to click Save after making your selection. To recap, standard costing is about expectations, actual costing is about the real-world result, and accounting cost follows your accounting system settings. If you need a hand deciding which one fits your factory best, just reach out. Email us at info@xperdyte.co.za. Happy manufacturing!